Hello YouTube, my name is Darkenblade Gaming, and this is a bit different video than I usually make. I usually make gameplay, but this is a discussion thing, because this was just added a new alpha. Well, it was 5 days ago, but I'm lazy, so just act like it was yesterday, for the sake of my ego. And they added some really good stuff, and one thing that I think is really bad. They added a bunch of accessibility options for people who are colorblind, or have hard of hearing, or just generally, like, have issues with the visual or audio side of things. They reworked a couple of early weapons, like the tentacle or the barnacle, and they reduced the cost of some early game items, which I think will make people hit the cells are useless phase sooner, but that's already going to happen anyway, so. But then they added an assist mode. I don't like this. And before people come into my comments, or don't because I'm lonely, and start saying about gatekeeping and elitism, this does not affect me. It does not affect me at all. I've already beaten the game. I'm never going to use this. And you could say it's just for people who need it. And to that I say, there are better ways to help those people than just letting them straight up make the game easier. Because, like, personally, I think continue mode is a horrible idea. But it doesn't personally affect me. I think turning the game from a roguelike to just a platformer significantly reduces the quality, because a lot of the stuff you forgive a roguelike for, like the subpar level design, the repetitive nature, that can no longer be excused if you're doing a normal game instead of just a roguelike. So I think making the game not a roguelike is inherently going to make it worse, but it doesn't affect me. These don't affect me. I just think making the game straight up easier is a bad idea. But what I do like is aspects. I love this change. Like the update that added them, practice makes perfect. That was one of my favorite updates ever, because it added a training room, it added the aspects, it added a world map. It made the game more accessible without just making it easier, because this is accessibility. This is just difficulty sliders. Like, this is not accessibility. Stop lumping this in with this. Like, they did do it at the same time, but accessibility is this stuff, difficulty is this. Kirby having a hard mode is not accessibility. It's Kirby still being piss easy, but that's just Kirby. But, like, the reason why I like these so much is, they're just for people who want to beat the main game. They want to beat 0 BC, maybe fight the giant to get that plot twist, and then be satisfied and move on to the next game. That is fine. Because of that, it disables boss cells and it disables flawless boss achievements. This is obvious. You don't want people reducing. You don't want people getting not blood drinker. Firestarter, and then just burning the boss to death easily. You want people to actually flawless the boss fairly. Of course, most people are just going to use the broken item, but what are you going to do? Nerf the item, which is what they do. And boss cells are because if you need an aspect to beat the game, you're not ready for 1 BC. And that's what I think. That carries over this. If you need to turn down this to 50%, enemy health to 50%, to beat the game, you are not ready for 1 BC. Like, you just aren't. You did not beat the game as on that difficulty, so going to the next one isn't gonna help you. Like, and why would you go to the next difficulty if you're making the game easier in assist mode? That just doesn't make sense to me. You don't get new content aside from a few enemies, like 1 per BC, which I don't think if you're struggling with zombies, you're not gonna like having slashers and ramparts. Yeah, if you're making the game easier, you're not gonna gain from being able to use bosses, which is why I think if they add this, they should apply the same restrictions as aspects. Because I think aspects are a much better way of doing this, because they apply to people who just want to beat the main game. Or people who just want to mess around like I do. Like, sometimes I'll just turn on Damn so I don't have to worry about curse chests and just play the game. Because I just want to have fun and I don't care about BCs. But yeah, the only content you gain from adding BCs is the spoiler biome at 5 BC, and that isn't that much content, and I feel like leaving that for people who have beaten 1, 2, 3, and 4 BC, I think that's fair. Like, having a little bit of content at the end for people who have powered through, I think that's completely fair. So, to summarize my points, I think just straight up making the game easier is inferior to having the aspects which are interesting and varied, and like they are especially specifically designed for people who can't beat the main game and just want to do that. And because it doesn't disable achievements, it doesn't disable boss cells, it's putting people. It is just not gonna help people more than aspects already could. Which is why I think the same restrictions should be put in place for them. Like, if you really can't beat the game with Damned, and you really just are that hung up that you can't access 1 BC, maybe you're playing the wrong game. Like, that is ultimately there is a difference between trying to appeal to more people and trying to appeal to everyone. Dark Souls does not have any easy mode, but Elden Ring, you can go out of your way and get more upgrades, you can grind, you can explore more of the map before you go get beaten to death by an old man with a stick. Doesn't mean the game is inaccessible because it's hard. And yeah, so ultimately, assist mode bad, aspects good, and until next time, my name is Dark and Blade Gaming, and I hope you all have a great day.